Hello, good afternoon. Once again, welcome to the training session of ERPGulf. So today we will discuss costing of items. Any type of costing. So costing that comes from the purchase invoice, and shipping charges, custom duty, all type of taxes, everything. And we will discuss landed cost vouchers and violation rates and everything. In fact, this one area we get most of the queries from our clients or from our students or whoever. We are getting most of these queries from them on this. So let's just start. So what will be? If you are looking at this item list, and when you look at that, you can see here evaluation rate. So what is evaluation rate? Of course, you all know the actual cost of the item that's in the store. So it should change. So you bought an item today, and then for 100 reals, and tomorrow you bought it for 150 reals or dollars or whatever. So if you bought it today 10 items, 10 I'll put it on the if you bought 10 quantity today for $100, let's say, so it will be 1,000. And tomorrow you got same item, another 10 quantity for 200, and the total cost is 2,000. And how much is the stock available now? It will be 20. And how much is the total value of the items? That's 3,000, right? So what will be cost of each item? That is 3,000 divided by 20. So that's elementary. 3,000 divided by 20. How much is that? 3,000 divided by 20. So the actual cost of this item now is 150. So this is a major part of costing. So when you are buying items, this is if it's a local purchase, just you got it from your neighboring store or somewhere, it's fine. But there are a lot of things that will come along with that, like shipping charges, customs duties, currency exchange, valuation, this, that. So many things will come when you are calculating the rate. So on the first, let's put an let's create an item, and we will put an opening stock for that, or opening stock for that, and let's see what is the value. So I will just create an item. I'll create an item. Let's say I'll put iPhone or a MacBook Pro, and same. Okay, we are going to sell that. So I'm not putting it here because opening stock generally we are entering through a list or something, but I want, not because of that, I want to show you something. Okay, I'll put it here this time. So how much is that for a opening stock? I'm putting it 10, and valuation rate I'm putting $1,000. That's first. Let's begin there. We will keep a stock. We will keep stock. We will maintain stock. Everything is fine, perfect. So we are purchasing 10. We have it in stock 10 quantity of MacBook Pro, and the valuation rate that is 1,000. That's predefined. At the time of implementation, we have it. So what is that now on the stock ledger? On the stock ledger, if you look at that, what you will see here, 10 quantities there, and look at here, there is an incoming quantity, incoming rate 1,000 and the valuation rate 1,000. It's pretty simple. We had 10 unit and the 1,000 real, and and the total is 10,000. We are done with that. So that's the stock entry. This entry can be done through stock reconciliation that we will come at the end of this. Now we have just put it. Now this is MacBook Pro. We have a valuation rate here. Okay, when you see here a valuation rate, you will assume that in the future, if the MacBook Pro comes with $2,000, this valuation rate in this field will change. It will not. This is just an opening one, and it's not changing in the ERPNext. Maybe in the coming update, it may change. But once you are done with the opening, you never come back and look at this value. It will be wrong. I'm just giving a warning. It's not. Now we are making a purchase. Okay. Purchase. I'm making a purchase invoice. I'm giving it to a company, any company. I have two companies here. So let's see. I put here a MacBook Pro, and I'm buying 5 quantity for the rate of 2,000. Okay, let's make it simple, so easy to calculate and understand. 5 quantity more we added, and I'm just updating stock here. I don't want to want to create another purchase receipt and all. Just for the sake of simplicity, and the concept and everything, it will not change. Whether you are doing it here or on the purchase receipts, everything will be same. So I'm saving this. Okay. So how much should be the cost after this? Before I'm saving, I'm just asking you guys how much it will be. So we have now 1,000. I'll just take it. This is we have here stock ledger. No, not that. That's book. We have now the valuation is 1,000 and total is 10,000 is available. Okay. Now I'm going to add this. I'm opening multiple windows, so don't get confused for that. So I saved this. Okay. Now what will be the valuation? Let me try this again. Here, stock ledger. I take stock ledger for this particular. This stock ledger is just for this purchase invoice, right? So I'm taking it. So here, incoming is 2,000 and the number of quantity is 5,000. And you can see here two fields. One is, I'll just try to expand this. This is incoming rate. This one is incoming rate. What is incoming rate and what is valuation rate? There are two things. You can see here incoming rate on stock ledger, okay? And this is valuation rate. So how it is calculated? Let's look into the broader one, stock ledger, not just for that. So we'll put it here on the mark. So how it is calculated? So 10 quantity came on 1,000 and 2,000 for 5 quantity, and the total will be 15 quantity. This is correct. You can see it here. This is 10 came first, then 5 came, and the total is 15. And here 1,000 and 2,000 are the incoming rate for this particular one. And what is the end? At the end, what is the rate? Look at here. So you have, I'll multiply here. you have first series, you have 10 into 1000. How much is that? 10,000. And then you have 5 into, oh, what is that amount? 2,000, right? 2,000. So how much it will be? Again, 10,000. For the total, it will be 20,000. So divide by how much total? 15, right? 15. So 20,000 divided by 15. How much it will be? That's the value we can see there, 1333.33. Okay. So this you can see it here on the total. This is what it's called incoming rate, means at the time this purchase order, I mean this purchase invoice we are issuing, the incoming rate was 2,000, and after this after the purchase invoice submitted, the valuation rate gone up to this amount. So in the normal process, in between there could be some sale and the item number reduced and then added. I mean, all of that things, but theoretically, this is the way we are going, it is fine. So this is we have done. So this is the calculation that we are doing and we are done with that. Now, let's assume I'll just cancel this because I want to add something here. I don't want to create another invoice and all. I will just cancel it and amend it, okay? Because if we create more, it will be difficult for you to understand it. So here, when we are bringing 5 quantity of MacBook Pro, we spend some other, some more money on that. What it could be? It could be something like freight and forwarding charges. Because when the shipping company come with you an invoice of another 1,000 riyals and say this is the amount, so you need to pay them. So that also should be on the valuation. Okay. In between, I just want to tell you something about the costing. So here, there are, when you are adding these taxes and charges, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different type of calculations. Okay, one on net total, actual net total on previous row amount, and like this. So what is actual? I'll just put it like this. I'll remove it and I will add it. So this, there is a clear notice there. I'll just put it here. Of right and forwarding. Actual means sometimes it's a courier company or somebody, they will just bring, they will say, okay, in we have found in Qatar and Saudi Arabia and all, there is something called legalization charge. It doesn't matter what is the amount of import when we are importing. So just whether it is the amount is 1,000 or 10,000 or something, there are slabs, of course, but I'm just simplifying that. They will just bring you an invoice that is legalization charge. Sometimes it is 1,000, sometimes it is 750, something like that, depend on a slab. So it doesn't matter what is the total amount of the invoice. So at that time, you need to put this actual. Okay. So now we have something like on net total. So this is a percentage. So what you will do, you can have multiple accounts and all. I'm just putting it, some accounts. So here it's percentage. So it's a total of this percentage, total of the invoice, percentage of the total of the invoice. Okay. Now we have what? On previous row amount. What is previous row amount? I'm again putting the same account for the simplicity. What is the previous row? Previous row means, in this case, this is the previous row. This is the previous row, okay, 75. And this is the previous total. This is the previous row. This is previous total. Don't forget that. So if we put it here, 10, that means it is the 10% of the just previous amount. That is 7.5. And it will add it to the previous total. And again, there is something called previous row total. That is, this is the previous total. Can you see that? This is the previous row total, and this is the previous row amount. Don't get it confused. Okay, so this is previous row total, and again I am putting here some expense. Okay, so here it's calculated 10% of last total. Here, actually, on the line number 3, don't confuse again. This is the percentage of last previous row amount. This is the percentage of previous row total. Okay. Now, again, we have something. Yeah. Again, we have another one that is on item quantity. This is also happens because when you are importing fonts and fridges and all, they will say, okay, for each fridge you need to pay 100 real for something. For example, they use crane. So if they want to use crane, so they will give you the crane charges, some that type of things. Okay, so what you will do for each fridge they are pulling up um, from the ship to the floor, they will say, okay, I need 100 for that. So what you will do, this is on item quantity. So there is an amount that we are buying five quantity. It's not fridge, it's MacBook Pro, but yeah, okay, let's go for that. So here each item quantity 100, and for each one we are paying 100. That means 5 into 100. That's so this all amount together came 12,415. This is the amount came. This is the total. Okay. There is another field. I will come to that. So now this is on the last, you can see something here. This one. Okay. Before coming to that, now I will just put it like values. I'll just don't look at this. I will explain this what is happening here. This is just I am saving. On this field, I will come back. You cannot. So now just it's like our actual value is 10,000 and the total is 12,400 and a grand total 12,415. So when we save it, look at that. Now, when you go to stock ledger and the valuation of that, you will see it's not incoming outgoing. The valuation is this 5 into 15, same like that. We canceled and recreated invoice, that invoice. Don't confuse that. So now it's no more. Before, you remember, we got 1,000. I mean 1,333.33 something. You remember that? If you remember that, it's good for an accountant and all. This kind of memory is very important. Now we are getting 14,940. How it is coming, I'll just show you. For each of these, the incoming rate is not just 2,000, it is actually 2,483. How it is coming? It is 12,415 divided by 5. Okay, so that is the amount. Did you see that? I use a calculator. Uh, So here 12,460, 415 divided by 5, right? So that's 22483. So that's the amount it will come here. Then the valuation changes and the total value changes. And sometimes you may need to look it into chart of account. I'll show you here. Chart of accounts. And where this money goes, often people ask me. So it comes into account, I mean stock assets. It's stock in hand. If you go there on that, you can see you just got the items in stock in hand. Okay, so this item will be there. So I'll show you the accounting part of this particular purchase invoice. There is, I mean, even we are working on the costing, so there is a stock, I mean, an accounting entry also. So this money we owe this money to Americana, that's the supplier, and stock in hand go the same, and freight and marketing and round of all of it coming here. So often people ask me, well, I mean, when you are purchasing for sale, in all the system like Tally and all, it used to come in the purchase side, but ERPNext is not dealing like that. It will go to stock in hand, and when you make a sale, that cost will go to the cost of sale. So from stock in hand to cost of sale. So if it's I mean, I don't want to explain that now, but if it's confusing for me, just write to me at the sales at ERPGulf, not training at the ERPGulf.com. I'll try to explain it there individually if you don't understand that. It's actually when you are doing, I mean, I just mentioning that when you are doing a purchase, it will go to stock in hand. That amount will not in the purchase. There will be no entry in the purchase account. It will go to stock in hand. And when you are doing a sale, it will go to cost of sale. That is actually, so this is at the type of sale, this is happening. So if you are looking the same kind of entry that you used to have in Tally or some other old legacy systems, you may not see it here. It needs some explanation, but this session is not for that. But I just mentioned that. So we will go back to this. Okay. Now that is the valuation style. Now I'm again canceling this. Why? Because I told you this accounting ledger, when I'm showing this entire amount, 12,416, this amount completely, it is going for this supplier, Americana. It's not always like that. Sometimes, okay, there are times when the supplier arranging shipment for you. At that time, you need to pay the shipment cost to them. But most of time, it's not happening. Even, at least in this region, it's not happening like that. They send shipment through DHL or Aramex or some other shipping company. The shipment company directly invoice to us. So we don't need to pay all of this amount to the supplier. It will go to DHL or some other company. That's one thing. And there will be taxes. Like for most of the imports, there is no VAT, but there is custom duty. Okay, there will be custom duty. There will be handling charges. Whenever you are doing, there will be handling charges. Okay, and there will be shipping charges. Of course, I told you shipping charges. So some part of it may be paid by supplier, so we should give it to supplier. Other part we are directly giving to DHL or customs or our own agency. So why it is coming in like here? So it shouldn't go here to DHL, the supplier. It will go to some other company. So there is something wrong with this entry. This is what I told you before. I will come back to this column. Okay, now I'm canceling this. I'm canceling this. Okay, so the all entry will be gone, and I'm amending it because I made a mistake. Actually, this freight and forward charge will go to DHL, not to the supplier. So how it will happen? So first of all, if in your purchase invoice, you will not see this column. Actually, I customized it. I'll show you. Actually, it will not be there. It will be simply like that. There's no column. When you are clicking on each of it, you will see it here. This tax and charges and all. So it will not be there normally. So what happens? You can just here you see this gear. I know most of you know that, but I'm just saying this. If you press here and you can add it here. So if you're regularly having import purchases, so you can just put it here. So it will be here. Okay, I just put it here. So let's say this freight and forward charges we will pay directly, so it will not go to supplier. So it will say, let's say, that means, but it's still there on the valuation. You know the difference? Yeah. Yes, valuation means it will come as a cost for that particular items. That's fine. But it will not go to on the first at the ticked one, it will come to the valuation and it will go to the supplier. Okay, this two. In the valuation, it will be item on the item stock, there will be a valuation, and it will not go to the supplier. And the total means just opposite. It will go to the supplier, but it will not be there the valuation. To be frank, I don't know on which scenario you can use that, because if you pay to supplier, it will come to the valuation, something like, oh God, I don't know. I don't know a real case scenario for that. But valuation and total means if they are paying the shipment charge, then we need to put that. If they are not paying the shipment, we are paying the shipment charge, we will put the valuation. And the total, we need to pay the money to them, but it will not come to the valuation. That is in total. So that's the three scenarios. I'll just I'll just remove all of it, because just for the sake of simplicity, I removed all of this. And on total, I'm just adding freight and forward that I will pay directly to shipper, let's say DHL, I will pay directly to them. So I will put it only on the valuation. It will be on the valuation. So how much is the total amount? 10,000 is the total amount. And how much is we are paying for DHL? That is 1,000. And the total of the invoice is, where is that? We changed it. How much is the total amount on that invoice? That should be okay. Total invoice is 10,000, and this is 11,000. Okay, just because it's valuation, it's not come here. Fine, I'll save it and I'll show you. Now I submit it. Now you look at the accounting ledger first. I'm not showing the stock ledger. I'm putting the accounting ledger. So what happens here? Here, for American, our supplier, it is going 10,000. So we have to pay them 10,000. But our stock in hand, see the stock in hand here? It is 11,000. How it came? Because we paid to DHL 1,000. So look at this carefully. Both this amount went to stock in hand, but at the same time the supplier we have to pay 1,000, and for the DHL it's 1,000. So how to create a DHL or Aramex invoice, I will tell you in another session. But now understand this. This is our stock in hand is 11,000, and so here on the stock ledger, the amount is in valuation rate, incoming valuation rate is 2,200. Before, you remember that we had 2,400. It's 2,200 because we deleted many because for the sake of simplicity, and the valuation is the actual amount is 2,000, and we added the DHL amount, that is 10%. So 2,000 plus 10%, that's 2,200. So it's come here. So you can see that. Now, if let's say I am canceling this invoice to show you another scenario. That is, this valuation, I'm changing it into total. Means the amount will go to the supplier, but it will not reflect in the valuation. Let's see. See here, 11,000 is gone to this company, 10,000 is the stock in hand. This is a very peculiar case. Actually, I told you before, I don't know the real case scenario, but it's there. So in case you want to use that, you use that. So that we have done that. While we are doing all of these things, something I want to show you on the item list. On the item list, this MacBook Pro, the valuation rate is still 1,000. That is the original first valuation rate. This is not the actual valuation rate. If you want to see the actual valuation rate, go to stock ledger. And see the latest here. This is the actual valuation rate, not the one before. This is the valuation rate. So it will be like this one, total divided by total valuation. I mean total quantity divided by total valuation. So this is we have done. And here, did I miss something here? So here custom duty also will come like everything will come like that. So now let's say we have another case. Mostly in this region, what happens? We receive the item, we enter the item, we solve the items and everything. After everything happened, the shipping company or the handling company, they will bring an invoice. That invoice have another amount for the same. At that time you are confused where to enter because your purchase invoice is already done. I mean, your purchase invoice already submitted. Even you sold the items, everything happened. Okay, so you have no scope of entering this. So there is something called landed cost voucher. So what is landed cost voucher? It is for this particular invoice. There is another bill came suddenly out of the blue from the shipping company or the handling company or even customs, because customs also sending invoices after sometimes here. I mean, most probably when we sold all the items, they are sending this item. So you can't do everything on the purchase receipt also. I didn't mention that. So I'm just mentioning. So here, this is the invoice that we have done. That costed you 11,000, right? It was 11,000. And if you take this item, we have got 5. And this landed cost, when you get it, the new invoice from anybody, that you will just add it here. So what happens? How much the invoice that we are getting an applicable charges. So we are getting a charge, say, okay, handling charge. The guy who used to handle our shipment, they sent it to you. Sometimes this is just I put just okay, I'll put a big amount so the difference you can understand. They send this amount. So what happens on the MacBook Pro? This applicable charges this. Actually, very often there is other thing happens in this region is they will club a. I mean, you every month they are giving you an invoice. Let's say you have 5 shipments. 5 shipments came last month, and this handling company, they gave you one invoice for all the 5. So in that case, you can put another purchase here, another purchase invoice here, and you can add that also here. So there will be item will keep coming. So the shipping, sometimes customs also doing the same. Customs also will do the same. So you can just put, okay, these are all items here. So the invoice they are giving is 5,000. So there it will be divided like this. So the amount, there is an option here, to distribute the quantity. Distribute, this is, this is an interesting thing. If a shipping company give you the invoice of 5,000 real, how you will distribute it? Because if it's a handling, for example, I told you, when you are by importing fridges, crane operator will ask for each fridge. They will, let's say, so it will come as a quantity. So it's a quantity. But if it's a custom duty, if you are getting a bill from customs after 1 month and it's a custom duty, so you need to put it in amount. Okay? So it will be distributed according to amount. If it's distributed according to quantity, see it here, they will calculate it like 10 plus 1 plus 5, 16. So 5,000 divided by 16 and multiply by 5. Let's say this is 1562. Did you get? I used the calculator. I didn't. Not comfortable with the my calculator, so I just put it here, my calculator. But if you calculate that, this 5,000, you divide by 16, then multiply by each quantity. So this is the amount. This, because it's quantity. But if it's amount, it will be you add all amount together and divide by this total amount, then multiply by each amount. So it will be the application charges. Sometimes you think this is, you got mix of items, like you got iPhone and fridges, and the handling charges will be very different because you got 100 fridges and 100 iPhones. So for 100 iPhone, or here itself there is pen. They will ask, okay, you just need to pay 10. Okay, so I will just here distribute manually and put it here, applicable charges, like distribute manually, you will put this here, this much amount, you edit it and put it here, this much amount. For applicable charges, let's say 200 for this item, and other item, let's say 3,000, and the remaining for this. So you can do that. So what I told you so far, on the landed cost vouchers, you can have multiple purchase invoices. Okay, you can have multiple purchase invoices, and you can have multiple items. If you want to remove some item from here, you can put it, you can remove it, and you can distribute it either by quantity or by amount or by manually you can distribute. Fair. Everything is clear now. Now I will go back to our original invoice and how it is happening. I'll tell you. So we have a MacBook. Okay, we have a MacBook, and we are paying 5,000 for this 11,000 invoice. Okay. Now, total applicable charges. I put it manually. Maybe I'll just put it by amount, so it will be 5,000. Okay. Now everything changes. If you go back to the same purchase invoice and you go to accounting ledger, you can see this 5,000 also added here. You remember before it was 5,000 or 1,000. Now it added 10,000. It was now 15,000. Okay, so now it is everything changed. Right and forwarding charges and everything changed. And according to that, the valuation also will be changed. You remember before the valuation, it was like 1,200 or something. Now it is 1,666. So this is the valuation added, and our stock in hand in the accounting ledger, that is also stock in hand also, it's up. Okay, before 11,000 goes to them, 4,000 goes to her, and 1,000 go to right and forward, and now it is 15,000 because 15,000 came to here. Now these things, one thing I want to tell you in this, for this item, I don't have that to explain, but stock ledger, I'm taking a stock ledger from some other place. Stock ledger, I'm taking some other item I used to explain. The thing is, if normally I told you this invoice come after 1 month. So you made a purchase. You made a purchase, let's say, for 100 riyal for an item, let's say, and you made sale. You bought 10 items, and you sold 5 items for maybe for with a profit, but the cost of selling will be at that time it is 100, right? I mean, you bought for 100 and you sold with the cost of 100, but the sale price may be 150 or something, whatever you are taking the profit. Then after a month or something, you made another sale also. There are many sales happening here, again for 100 and two items you said. So how many items back here? So here 10 minus 5 minus 2, there are 3 items left, and the stock is 100, stock value is 100. Then suddenly the customs people brought you a bill that cost you 1,000 riyal for these items. Okay, so here if you sold it for 120, let's say, you have a profit of 20 riyals here. 20 into 5, that's 100, and here also 20, 20, 20, 40. So you are assuming that you have 140 riyals. You have a profit out of this. But suddenly the customs people, and you still have the stock of 100. But what happens? This customs people, they come with an invoice. Let's say a penalty for you haven't cleared on time or something like that. They are saying, okay, we have a penalty for 1,000. What happens? This everything gone loss, or the profit gone down, or something happened, right? How we will impact? Because let's say this purchase invoice happened on January, okay, and this came on March. So, and this has happened in February. This too happened in February. This too happened in February. This and this happened in February. So what happens in ERPNext? It is calculating completely, and it will change the cost of all of these sales. Cost of all of the sales will be changed, and it will actually show the beauty of ERPNext. It will calculate all the transaction happened for this particular item from that day to this day. It will update all the cost values. Okay, and then how you will see the cost value, because I don't have time to show all of this, but all the cost value will be changed. And if you take a invoice, I'll just show you some other invoice, so you can see that there is a cost of sale, right, for each one. That cost of sale, you will see that it will be just up for that. And this is no update stock. If you need to, I'll just make it. It's hard because we are out of time now, but so there is something we sold it for 2000, and sorry, I need to update stock, because normally it's not happening like that. If you don't update, there will be no stock entry. You have to make a sales entry there. So if you look at the accounting ledger for this, you can see the stock. There is a stock, and how many quantity we sold? How many quantity we sold? One quantity. Okay. So when we are selling this one quantity, we have a deduction of that particular valuation rate. Okay. So it will that amount will be less, and there's a cost. I mean, that will go to cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. Okay. So this is very sensitive issue. So if there is a change happened after this, so it will be adjusted across. So when you are doing this LCV, I mean this landed cost vouchers, and there will be I mean, sometimes it will be huge transaction, maybe thousands of record need to be updated, because especially if you are in the point of sale and all, that that thing happens like daily you are selling hundreds of the item, and this when you are getting a new LCV, all of this need to be updated. So you may need to consider that when you are doing this LCV. So there is one more thing because before we are going, we need to clear one more thing, that is valuation rate. I covered LCV. That there is stock reconciliation. This stock reconciliation, sometimes you find that there is, when you are counting it, because there are two purposes. One is opening stock and one is stock reconciliation. When you are doing it, so if you are rendering a valuation rate, this valuation rate will be the new valuation rate, regardless of what you have calculated in the past. So this is a new chapter that we can cover it in the next video or something. But I think that we have covered the valuation pretty well. But maybe if you maybe something that there is other thing happens in this region, that is currency fluctuations and all, when you are importing items, that we will cover next time. But until that time, you can, if you require any clarification on this, you can send a mail to training at ERPGulf.com. So if you send a mail, if you need an instance to train yourself ERPNext, or just you want to have a clarification or something, you can just send a mail to training at ERPGulf.com. So we will either try to join for for a clarification, a Zoom session with you, or maybe we can answer by email. Thanks for joining, and appreciate that you all of you. I mean, you can share it with our your friends that they want to learn ERP next. Thank you.